Welcome back everybody to Retro Toys TV. Now today I am bringing to you one of the staples of the YouTube video community. No, it's not a video of a cat or some random bloke falling headfirst into a swimming pool. No, today I am doing a list video, specifically a top 10 list video. And this top 10 is a top 10 of my Holy Grail retro toys that I want to add to my collection. Now, I racked my brains and I thought, what am I going to do for this top 10 list? So this is not a list of unobtainable toys that I'm never ever going to have a hope in hell of buying. No, these are toys that I am currently looking on, currently potentially bidding on eBay, and considering to add to my collection in the very near future. Without further ado, let's jump into the top 10. In at number 10 is the AT-AT. The AT-AT is probably my first ever Holy Grail toy, so I wanted to include it on this list, even though, dare I admit it, I'm not really a big fan of Star Wars toys and I'm not really looking to actually purchase in the near future. So it's kind of on this list at number 10 for sentimental reasons only, mainly because it is the one that got away from when I was a kid. You see, I was born just kind of on the tail end of Star Wars, so I wasn't around to play with the toys that were released with New Hope and obviously Empire Strikes Back, and I actually kind of just missed the boat on the ones that came out with Return of the Jedi. So I never had the opportunity to buy an AT-AT in the shop. But I do remember seeing it at kind of school fete sales and church sales when it was probably about 5 or 10 quid. And if you look at the price you're going to pay for a mint condition AT-AT now, I kind of really wish I'd bought it back then. So that's kind of why it's on this list. It was the first ever unachievable Holy Grail toy that I really wish I'd bought at the time, and I wanted to include it on this list just for posterity, if nothing else. Jumping in at number 9 are the Galaxy Rangers toys. All the way through this top 10 list, I'm not just putting in singles, I'm putting in groups of toys, and I'm throwing in all the Galaxy Rangers toys because they are all awesome. The Galaxy Rangers toy line I didn't know existed, much like the King Arthur and the Knights of Justice toys that I reviewed recently on this channel. I didn't realise that the Galaxy Rangers cartoon had spawned a toy line until I saw it in my local retro toy shop, the Leicester Vintage Retro Toy Shop. Check them out, links up here somewhere. But before you go, carry on with this list. Yes, I didn't realise they existed until they got in a mint in-box selection of these toys. And it had all the main characters, it had all the horses to go with it as well. And I was like, whoa, this is just amazing stuff. If you've never seen Galaxy Rangers, go out and find it, because it was, for me, it was quite a staple of my cartoon viewing. And I remember it to this day, the awesome kind of Brave Star-esque sci-fi and western kind of joined together. And I remember distinctively the three main characters being absolutely excellent. And to realise they had a whole toy line dedicated to this kind of blew my mind when I first found out. So this is why it comes in number 9 on this list, because definitely it's something I'll be looking to acquire in the near future. And I am a little bit gutted I didn't pick them up in Leicester back in 2018 when they had the opportunity. Rolling in at number 8. Number 8 is the Heman Eternia playset. This is probably the most unobtainable one on this list, but I wanted to include it because it's one that is certainly very iconic for me, because as most of you probably were, you were all massive He-Man fans back in the day, and this playset is just an epic playset that goes with the style and with the design of the entire Masters of the Universe range. To be fair, I could have thrown in the USS Flag from Action Force / G.I Joe, but I decided to pick this one mainly because I was always a bigger He-Man fan than I was a G.I Joe fan. And this one I rarely see anywhere. You can see quite a lot of kind of quite rare stuff in the UK, but I've not yet seen in any condition, let alone mint condition, Eternia playset in any of the UK events that I've been to. And to be fair, I've not even seen it on eBay either, so certainly something to look at, something certainly I think is quite rare in the UK, and this is why it comes in on my Holy Grail list. 7. Now, 7 is a interesting one. This is the Dr. Claw action figure from Inspector Gadget. Now, the reason this comes in this list is purely because of what this action figure represents to the Inspector Gadget fandom, because of course it shows the face of Dr. Claw, something that you never saw in the cartoon. You saw one in the computer game, but the fact that they made an action figure with Dr. Claw's real face on it is the reason why it is a Holy Grail toy for me. Once again, I've never seen this for sale in the UK. It's always been in the US, and it's always going for north of $100. So This is something that's quite unique. I love Inspector Gadget. I thought it was an awesome cartoon, and the fact that they have designed and released what Dr. Claw looks like makes this toy certainly something very rare for me, and really something I want to add to this collection if I can find it in the UK. 6 is the first Transformer on the list. This is Trailbreaker. Now, I have to make a confession that this top 10 list is quite Transformer heavy at the moment. I think I'm in a kind of Transformer mood over this kind of lockdown period, and so it's kind of reflected in this list. I had to actually limit myself to 3 entries for Transformers on here. I could have gone more, but I've limited myself to 3, so there's kind of spoilers where the rest of the Transformers are going to come later on this list. But this is Trailbreaker. Trailbreaker was weirdly always one of my favourite Transformers from the G1 range. I can't really put my finger on why, but I always found his kind of off-road van form very cool when he was in the cartoons, and the kind of role he played in the team in the cartoons. But also, I always liked the die-cast kind of car G1 figures, and he was quite the epitome of the G1 die-cast Transformers that you see. This one, effectively, you could pick up 10 a penny. They are quite common on eBay and at toy fairs. But I think for me, in order for this to be a proper Holy Grail, I want to get a near enough mint condition die-cast model. Now, I'm not bothered about the box version with all the accessories. I just want a really good quality figure stroke van that isn't battered and damaged by age. Now, they are quite rare to get hold of, and I think this is why not only is Trailbreaker one of my favourite characters, but this is why it really ends up on this top 10 list, because to get a mint condition one is going to be a challenge, especially in the UK, but I'm up for that challenge. Rightio everybody, we're in the top 5, and straight in at number 5 is Mask Thunderhawk. I collected a lot of masks when I was a kid, and out of the original first kind of toy line, the first kind of range that came out, I actually didn't get that many from that first initial batch, and Thunderhawk was always the one that I really wanted. I think for me, with all the mask toys, it's the detail that went into the cars and the vehicles, everything from the little steering wheels to the way that the tyres and the wheels were created, and I think Thunderhawk was always the epitome of that, like a really cool kind of sports car stroke plane. Obviously it was piloted by Matt Tracker and things like that. My friends had it, and I think that was the thing that always could go for me, is they had that one and I always wanted to play with that one. And this is why it's quite high up on this list, because again, to get a mint one, yeah, it's relatively easy to get a mint one in the UK. I passed on 2 opportunities to get that in the last 12 months, and I really wish I'd actually bought one, because one of them came with a really nice box as well. But I kind of didn't want to do it at the time, so certainly it's really high up on my list to add to my collection. I'd love to get it mint with a box, not that fussed, but the box is so cool for Mask anyway. So number 5, Thunderhawk, definitely something I want to get in the very near future. Okay, we're nearly there, folks. Number 4. Number 4 is an interesting one, and probably one that a lot of people may not have in their top 5 list, let alone their top 10, and that is a complete He-Man from the New Adventures of Heman. Yeah, okay. New Adventures of Heman has suffered over the years a little bit, I have to admit. I think it was poorly timed rehash of the He-Man cartoon. However, it's got a soft spot. It's got a soft spot in my heart for not only the cartoon, but also the limited toy line that came with it. And I really want a mint, not necessarily box. I'm not always a big fan of box stuff, but certainly a mint with all the accessories, including power sword, helmet, shield, etc. New Adventures of Heman figure. Interestingly, I've seen them here in the UK, but they don't often come with the sword or the helmet, etc. The only time I've seen a full collection with all the accessories was from a seller in Belgium or Germany or something on eBay. Now, there seems to be a lot of new He-Man stuff coming out of that kind of European kind of market, so there's obviously something there in terms of the new He-Man line and where it was released in Europe. Kind of makes me interested to find out more about that, but it's certainly a very simple one I want to add to this collection. Hopefully I can get it soon. Rightio, top 3. I agonised about my top 3, I have to admit, and I omitted some, and like I said earlier in this video, I'm a bit Transformers heavy, so there are Transformers in this top 3, and the first one is at number 3. Number 3 is another group. I've gone for a group rather than an individual toy, and that is Predaking. All the Predacons joined together to form Predaking. Now, kind of didn't know this, that the Predacons were never released in the UK. They were released in US and Japan, but they were never released here, so that's why we never got to see them when they were in the shops. So that's kind of why this one is really out there as a Holy Grail, a highly placed, I should say, Holy Grail toy. It's a combiner, and Transformer combiners are always cool anyway. I'd even go out as far as saying this is cooler than the Constructicons and Devastator. That was going to be in this list, but I omitted that one because I was trying to limit the number of Transformers. So I think the fact that it's a combiner makes it really good, and the fact that the Predacons are really cool in the cartoons, and They just look so much better than a lot of the other combiner groups that are out there. I think it's the reds and the yellows and the oranges, the really cool colours, and the way they form that bigger robot than some of the other robots. That's why really I want to get all the Predacons and Predaking. This one's a bit of a mission for me, I'll admit now. Live, hot off the press, I actually have already bought one of the Predacons Rampage, which will hopefully be winging its way in the post to me very soon. So it's the first step on the way to getting a full-blown, complete G1, not reissued, not die-cast, not metal, G1 plastic, US, Japan, whatever version it is, version of Predaking. Okay, in at number 2, the penultimate entry, everybody, and it is, surprisingly, a Action Force / G.I Joe. Now, being in the UK, I always call it Action Force, and probably in all these videos I always will. This one is certainly one of the unobtainable ones that I always wanted as a kid. This is the G.I Joe Action Force Night Raven plane. This one was always one of the ones I distinctly remember seeing it in the toy shop. It was always that one right at the top shelf of the toy shop that I always wanted. It featured in the movie. I think Serpentor flew it in the movie. It had that really cool red glass cockpit which looked awesome, and it had the pod that came off the back. It was a genuinely really cool, really massive jet. Now, I did have, if you remember some of the jets I had, but it was the F-15 jet, Sky Striker I think it was called, and that was massive, that was huge. And this one was equally as big. I think the fact it was also kind of modelled on a Blackbird plane, I always liked a Blackbird plane when I was a kid as well, so that made it even more desirable, an even more desirable item to have. And yes, have I seen many in the UK? To be fair, I've not actually looked for it. Maybe I should start looking, but certainly if I was going to get one, I would want it to have the Action Force livery rather than the G.I Joe. And that actually is proving quite difficult to get nowadays, because obviously in the open common market it's G.I Joe above Action Force, but you never know. I'll keep my eyes out and see what I can find. Rightio, so recap time quickly as we reach number 1 in the list. I will just recap for you the previous 9 entries. At 10 we have the Star Wars AT-AT, the original from Empire Strikes Back. At 9 we have the Galaxy Rangers toy range. At 8 we have the Heman Eternia playset. In at 7 we have the Dr. Claw action figure from Inspector Gadget. At 6 we have Transformers G1 Trailbreaker. In at number 5 we have the masked Thunderhawk car. At 4 we have the complete He-Man from the New Adventures of Heman range. Number 3 we have the Predacons forming Predaking, the G1 version. In at number 2 we have the Night Raven Action Force / G.I Joe Blackbird Jan. Number 1 in my current list of Holy Grail retro toys is, drumroll please, it is the complete collection of Dinobots. Yes, Dinobots are always my favourite Transformer, and to have a complete set of G1 versions of these would be absolutely amazing. Not bothered about the box, not bothered about accessories. All I want is a Grimlock, a Slag, a Snarl, a Sludge, and a Swoop. I just want the whole set. Granted, I know it's sometimes difficult to get them in mint condition. Granted, Swoop is quite difficult to get compared to the others, certainly in the UK, but I just want a full set of Dinobots. Simple things. Grimlock's always one of my favourite characters. Likewise, I love the group in the cartoons, and to have a full set would be awesome. This one will certainly be at my number 1 if I ever do another of this list anytime soon. But I am starting to kind of put the feelers out and looking for adding to my collection for these Dinobots, because I know they're out there. It's just getting the right deal for the right condition of figure. So there we have it. There is my current, as of April 2020, top 10 Holy Grail toys. What do you think? What is the 10, the 5, the 2, the 1 Holy Grail toy that is eluding you at the moment? Are you planning to look to purchase it anytime soon? As always, stick it down there in the comments, and obviously while you're up there, like, subscribe somewhere up there, and ding that bell. This is Retro Toys. Please go and check out my Instagram page, my Facebook page, and soon my website, all coming soon, all very exciting. I will be back soon to discuss, what have I got to discuss? Some more acquisitions to my toy collection, including board games. Board games is a new thing. Anyway, stay tuned for that. Until next time, thank you very much. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching, and take care. I'll see you soon. Cheerio for now. Bye.